The Senate has cleared a key hurdle in moving forward with criminal justice reform. On Monday night, the Senate voted 82-12 to end debate on the Trump-backed bill that has been led by Jared Kushner. And now it's making its way to a final vote, which could happen as early as today. If you don't know it, it is the First Step Act. It makes changes that include giving judges more leeway to diverge from strict mandatory minimum sentencing laws for nonviolent drug offenders. It eliminates the possibility of life without parole for three-strike drug offenders, and it would also create programs to protect first-time nonviolent offenders to reduce recidivism. That's a word. Tim Phillips and Christine Quinn back with me. All right, Christine, starting with you. I find it extraordinary and positive to see so much bipartisan support. Why is this a big win for both parties? Well,
right now for both parties, if we have jammed to the gills prisons all over America that are costing far more money than anyone ever anticipated we would spend. So if you're a Republican, you know, you're going to be saving people money. If you're a Democrat, this is a very humane step forward. It's a way to undo some of the damage that we saw in the late 80s and early 90s.
But there's not really a big lobbying effort. There hasn't been political will. Why now?
Well, it's been building, right? And it's been building as an issue, continually across the country, particularly as we see real scandals in how jails and prisons are run. And when you understand that, you see how much rehabilitation is not happening and how our criminal justice system is only making the problem worse. And that's an argument that you can make in different ways on both sides of the aisle.
Well, 12 Republicans are not making that argument, Tim. Tom Cotton has an op-ed in the National Review saying this. He's touting amendments to this bill and saying that conservatives have, quote, jumped on the bandwagon too soon. You do not stand with Tom Cotton on this. Your organization signed a letter to Senate leaders supporting it. Why?
Very much so. We've been on this issue for a decade, going back to the Obama years, working with Valerie Jarrett and then Attorney General Eric Holder. So this is nothing new for us. It's the right thing to do. American incarceration rates are among the highest in the world. Recidivism, folks who go back to prison, we have the worst record on that, arguably in the developed world. We got to do something. It's a tragedy for our people. It wastes taxpayer dollars. We've been on this for a long time. I'll tell you why support is building. Because criminal justice reform at the state level has been a steady drumbeat. And these federal guys and gals have looked over at their states and went, wow, Texas was able to close 3 prisons, save $3 billion, and crime rates go down. Maybe that would work at the federal level. So the state effort, which we've been a part of for almost a decade now, has, I think, given the federal folks the will and the assurance to do this. Senator Cotton is a good man. He's just wrong on this. I think he's stuck back in the early 1990s.
But why? He was in high school in the 1990s.
I'm just telling you, the approaches that he takes, mandatory minimums that have not worked, have not improved safety, really, and they've harmed a lot of lives, especially for nonviolent offenders. It's a tragedy, and it's finally going to be fixed. There are 3 amendments that Senator Cotton is proposing. Stephanie, they're poison pills, and we would urge senators to vote no on all of them. They're covered in other areas of criminal law as they are now, and it's simply a last gasp attempt to harm this legislation, and we hope they don't work, and we don't think they're going to, but let's make sure they don't.
All right, well then, could this be a Christmas miracle? We talk every moment about how divided we are, but if we see this kind of bipartisan support, and if something goes through just before the end of the year as we walk into 2019, does that give you hope that progress is ahead? Because when people voted in the midterms, I actually think they voted for bipartisanship and progress more than they voted to obstruct things.
It's hard to have hope, I want to be honest, in the Trump administration, because every time I do, you feel like you then get...
But if we don't have hope, we have nothing.
I agree with that.
Why would we not have hope when he has led the effort on criminal justice reform?
Okay, he hasn't led the effort on criminal justice reform.
Jared Kushner absolutely has been
Yes, but we're talking about President Trump.
Right.
Okay, the Trump administration, guys. Come on, I think we're going a little far.
Members of the Trump administration.
But I think, it's hard...
Jared Kushner had to twist Mitch McConnell's arm to even look at this.
Do you think
Mitch
he would do that
McConnell's
to President Biden? Of course he wouldn't. He wouldn't do it.
Well, that's a different debate of whether Jared Kushner would do things without the president's knowledge. But you're right, Stephanie. You have to have hope. I mean, there's facts here that are showing people can come together for a constituency that doesn't vote. And that is the evidence that we should continue, particularly this time of year, but continue it into the new year, have hope.
Well said.
There you go. A constituency that doesn't even get to vote is who both sides of the aisle are trying to fight for.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.